So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming in here today. My name is Lieutenant Jeff, Jeff Baxter, Baxter. I'm the commander of our Special Victims Unit here at the Atlanta Police Department.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
1 second, please.
Sure.
Sorry. Just speak up just a little more, Lieutenant, if you could.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. On behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, I'm pleased to announce that we've made an arrest in the sexual assault that took place back on May 31st at 2637 Old Hateville Road. Demetrius Abercrombie, age 42, has been arrested for the crime, and through the diligent work of a couple different folks within the Atlanta Police Department, we were able to make that arrest. Just to give you the basis of that work, 4 days after the sexual assault took place, our suspect came back and burglarized our victim's apartment, removing items from her apartment. After that burglary took place, we had a very alert and competent Zone 3 burglary officer who was able to get fingerprints related to that burglary from the residents. Being alert and astute, that Zone 3 officer shared that information with our Special Victims Unit. We were able to then take that information with those fingerprints that belonged to Mr. Abercrombie at the burglary crime scene, place him in a photo lineup in which we showed our victim, and she was able to make positive identification of Mr. Abercrombie being her assailant. Again, Mr. Abercrombie, age 42, has an extensive arrest history that spans back into the 90s. He's been arrested for everything from obstruction to burglary to also previously being charged with rape. He is now housed in the Fulton County Jail, and we were able to obtain a search warrant to collect a DNA swab sample from him, which we will then also compare to the DNA that we received from the crime scene when we initially went out for the sexual assault. So based on our victim being strong and being able to pick out her assailant through some hard work and diligence with a Zone 3 burglary officer out there in the field, and through our Special Victims Unit investigators and our Fugitive Unit, we were able to give some closure to this case.
Was he able to cooperate? Was he cooperating with you? Did he make any statements? What can you tell us about what's going on right now with him?
So once he was taken into custody, he was brought back here to our headquarters building, at which time he did not want to make a statement.
Can you talk about where he was found?
He was located by our Fugitive Unit at his place of employment. I won't get into where that was, but they were able to track him to where he worked.
Do you know why he would have returned to the scene of the crime?
So, that's open to speculation. Obviously, to me, it takes a sick and twisted individual that would commit a sexual assault and then 4 days later return to that location to steal from that location, or maybe try to encounter that victim again. So right now it would just be speculation on my part.
Now, the victim said that he had recently been released from prison, that he said that during the assault.
Correct.
When was the last time he was in prison?
So looking back at his criminal history, he's been arrested. He has 23 arrest cycles, like I said, that span back to the 90s. But in all of his arrests, he's never served actual prison time in the state of Georgia. He's done a 12-month stint, a 30-day stint in the county jail system, but never in the state prison. So, although he may have mentioned to the victim that he had been in jail previously, It looked like that didn't equal actual prison, just regular stints in regular county jail.
Did
Was he
that
homeless
rape
as you
case
guys
from-
speculated possibly, or no?
I wouldn't say he was homeless. I think he was bouncing between different locations. I don't think he has a permanent location, but in terms of being, I think he stayed at different places and bounced around.
Do we know if he burglarized any of the other units in that same apartment complex or surrounding areas?
So he's being looked at right now. Investigators are going back to see if he can be linked to any other prior burglaries in the area.
And that was my question too, and you kind of already answered it. Two-part question. What other crimes might he be you think he might be a suspect in other crimes as part of what you're investigating? And then part two of my question is, what was the outcome of that 15-year-old rape arrest?
So to answer the first part of your question, yes, we are looking at him for other crimes, obviously. We want to link him to as many crimes that he's responsible for. We have some very diligent investigators that are doing that as we speak. In terms of why he didn't serve prison time for his prior rape arrest, that's something that you'd have to bring up with Fulton County. I believe that prior arrest took place in East Point, and that was 2005, I believe. So you would need to go back and speak to the Fulton County prosecutor's office to see what the disposition was.
But I don't know if you happen to know whether it actually reached a trial stage or what.
Again, I don't know what phase it got to, but I do know that the rape charge, I think it was ultimately pled down to false imprisonment in which he was given probation. Now, don't take me, I mean, that's just, we'd have to get that verified, but I believe that's the case. So in terms of that prior rape arrest, to confirm, you would need to check with the DA's office.
As far as the victim in this case, a lot of people at the complex said that they frankly recognized him, saw him in the area walking around. Did the victim recognize him once she saw the lineup?
She did. So when the victim was shown the lineup, she recognized him from that lineup and was able to pick him out.
No,
And
did she recognize him from before? Did she see him in the area before?
that I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether or not she didn't make any statements as to, oh yeah, I've seen him around before. So I would just speculate if I gave an answer on that.
Are you concerned that he has committed these other crimes for which you haven't solved? And are you asking anyone with information on if he's possibly raped someone else to come forward?
So we certainly welcome any information that individuals have as it relates to Mr. Krabi. If they have anything that they would like to share with us, we'd be more than happy to listen to what they have to say. In terms of his prior arrest history, we have the same questions you have as to why he never served time in Georgia prison for any of his past arrests.
But is there any other rapes you are looking to tie him possibly to?
We will look at him for all of our open rapes. We don't take him lightly. He will be researched. He will be looked at. And again, we do now have a DNA profile for him. So
Do you have a picture of him?
we do. We can share that with you before you guys leave here today.
I think we're ready for it. If you have it, hard copy or email it.
Do you know are you able to say what he stole from the victim's department?
Electronics, TV, a laptop, and yeah.
He tried to prey on her. He preyed on her multiple times, essentially.
Exactly, which makes him, in my opinion, the worst of the worst. I mean, somebody that would commit a sexual assault and then have the audacity to come back 4 days later to try to go back into that location is just, it's not something that you see every day, but it's despicable. And I'm just glad that through multiple people within our agency, and then having a victim that was able to muster the fortitude inside of her to be able to identify him, we're just glad to have him off the street.
I understand you may not be ready to release his latest mugshot, but from your viewpoint, does it resemble the sketch that she was able to give you? Tell me how you describe comparing the photo with the sketch.
You know, there's some similarities. I think another similarity was that she described a tattoo on his left arm. He has a tattoo on his left arm. You know, everyone is, you know, with sketches, it's, you know, everyone can have a different feel for what the comparison is, but I do believe there's some similarities.
Can you say the age range of the victim, 20s, 30s, 40s?
Of our victim,
Correct.
I'd say late 20s, maybe. Yeah.
Anybody have any other questions?
Are you
We'll
gonna
wrap
see
up
the
here.
photo? Is he gonna hold it?
We don't have that prepared for you, and I don't know that we have that to release right now. We'll look at, whether we do, you may have to go to Fulton County for the booking photos yet. We don't have booking photos here, so we have a deal set with us. So I'll see if we have it, but if we don't have one, we'll show it.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Appreciate it.